Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Val-Con training session. Today, we're going to be meeting one of the new Hype Week hosts who has a world that is available for you all to play on. Really cool. And after that, we're going to do the training. So I have a 10-minute training video showing the requirements to participate in Hype Week. The due date for the requirement is a trailer, 90 seconds, due on March 8th. We'll learn all about that and more. But in the meantime, here I am with the other Hype Week hosts. So today we have Dakar and Leftaf and Nunn and Wiesman. Did I pronounce that right this time?
Oh, Wiseman, but close enough.
Wiseman. Oh no, Wiseman. Okay, so literally like wise, like you're a man who's wise.
Try to be.
Wise man. All right, cool. And so we have Wiseman and Odo. How's everyone doing?
Doing good.
Very good.
Oh, very good.
Doing good.
And so
Wonderful.
today we're going to get into the training, but before we do that, I'm going to give the stage to Wiseman. They're going to introduce themselves and tell you a bit about the project. Okay? Let's get to it.
All right, perfect. Thank you, JP. Hello. My name is Wisman Wiseman. I'll even Wiesman if I'll answer all three regardless. But about almost a year ago, I set up a dedicated server we call the Realm of Rovanian. I'll share the screen real quick. But it was originally an idea that enjoy the game process the building where getting able to show off everybody's creations across the board. And so I set this place up, and over time we've had at least a dozen people come and go and kind of build the world across every realm. Showing the main base we built as like a portal hub, but the idea behind the area was we try to keep it as vanilla as possible. So we kind of limited the use of mods, minus like the internal flame mod. There's some client mods that people have used before, but it's kind of along the lines of building to make a world feel rich and lore. So like this area right here, we have all the uniquely named locations where each player can make a claim and state like, hey, we have built this area and it builds a certain design across the board. For me, it's the world building aspect. Hence, I've taken some inspiration from Tolkien and naming some certain things across the area. But let's see if I can show you something else real quick.
That's cool. So you lean on the players to not just make like an area, but also describe why it's there and like explain the lore for it.
Correct. So each place has a unique lore to it, and I try to do my best. So like on Valheimians, I try to post everybody's unique spot. So on the main page here, at least, gosh, I want to say at least all these, minus this one, are built by other people. So they share me ideas like, hey, I have a lore event for this location. Let me add it. So it's like, absolutely. And after that, I have a knack for cartography. So I try to build maps based on locations. So for example, this area right here was the actual Valheim world, copied and traced it into a map app. So each one kind of, it's as near perfect as I'm allowed to do on a simple mouse pad. But each one is designed and built around it, where if a player new or old has suggestions for a spot, they add it to it. And it ranges from simply, put this one, simple structure like this one. It's called Tiers. It was built by a guy named Lyle. He's relatively new, but does some wonderful builds. Keeps it pretty simple. And then there's this another gentleman called Sap who builds unique ones as tree houses. That's his design. And it's entertaining because each individual player has their own taste of things. For me, I try to keep it as vanilla as possible, just for the sake of it. I don't really dabble too much in mods, but it's a unique experience, and it's glad to see that this server is still going after a year. It feels like we've had some ups and downs with certain players, but I made it lore events. So like each one is an actual.
You're a genius.
If there's conflict, it's like, oh, it's a lore event now. So we've had schisms, we've had civil wars, and it's just like, yep, it adds to the world. But yeah,
That's a great
it's
way to
coming
do
along
it too.
nicely.
People always get in fusses. If you're working with people, you got to be able to manage fusses.
Yep. And so we've been overtime. People play when they can. Sometimes we have 3 people on. Sometimes you have 6. You just play when you can, trying to make it as relaxed and peaceful as possible.
Nice.
Nice.
That's awesome. So I guess before we get into the training, does anyone have any questions before we move forward? Is there something like later, does one of you need to speak first? Is there something you want me to remind you to talk about later? Now's a chance to let me know.
I'm good. I think I'm just here to spectate, right? Because I don't really have much to say on as far as trailers goes. Even though, I mean, I generally know how to make one. It's just making a video, but I'll just
Yeah,
probably be
it's
here
more
listening.
making sure that you understand the rules and expectations, pretty much, like what is expected of you. And then
Right.
also it's a chance to interact with the other Hype Week hosts and coordinate more and work together. I always have like secret intentions, right? I guess they're not so secret because I spoke about them. But Val-Con is like something I care about, but what really motivates me is seeing how we all have these individual projects. But as individuals, we tend to be quite focused on our own projects, and we would all make better projects and have more players for our projects if we interacted more with each other and were more willing to share what we're working on and what we're going through. I generally want to encourage people to open up more because you'll often find that you've been doing something one way, but it turns out that you've actually been doing it the hard way the whole time, and someone else can just tell you something, and it's like, oh shit, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right then. So what I'll do is I'll start here with the training video. Give me a moment here. I need to. Okay, I have the video up on the stream, but that isn't good enough. I also need to share it in this. So I need to share my screen, and that alone isn't good enough either because I also need to make sure that the screen is showing its audio. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, JP.
Why is it streaming at 140p 60 FPS? That's ludicrous. I can't stream that high. I have a 1080p setup. Like, I don't know what it's doing. One second. Let's fix this here. I don't need 60, and I do not need 1440p. What is 1440p? I didn't even know that was. Is that what 4K is? I thought 4K was 4000.
No. Yeah, well, 39 something. 14, I kind of like 1440.
Huh. I guess I'll have to
It's like
try
a
that
happy
sometime.
medium between them.
All right, so can you see? I know in the stream, sorry, this is a bit redundant if you're watching the stream, but in the stream they see what's happening. But inside the group, in the Discord group, can you see the GTX logo right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then tell me if you hear Stone Prophet's voice.
This Val-Con video is powered by GTX server hosting.
Yep.
All right, then. With that being said, I'll start. And this is like a 10-minute video. So if you need to take a moment, get some water, do something like that, you're welcome to. Afterwards, I'll make sure that everyone understands what's expected of them. All right?
This Val-Con video is powered by GTX server hosting, the best way to run your Valheim server.
Now come along and join us at Val-Con.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hype Week trailer training video. This tutorial will teach you the basics of producing a trailer for your Hype Week project as part of Val-Con 2026. Your trailer, combined with the information for your Discord server, are going to be the driving mechanism that we use to bring players to the Hype Week servers. They're also going to be very useful for your own personal use. Anytime somebody asks you for a description of it, you can just send them the teaser video that you made on YouTube. It's very effective compared to replying in text. We will start by watching the original early access trailer for Valheim. It's from a simpler time and will provide a framework that you can copy for your own trailer for your Valheim project. Let's get started by watching the trailer once in its entirety. Take note of how you feel watching this trailer. If you've played Valheim for a while, it probably activates some emotions within you. This is what you're going for. For the rest of this video, we're going to break down a couple techniques that are in play in the trailer that you just watched. We'll start with clip length. It can be very challenging to get started on your trailer project because you might not know which things to show. And I encourage you not to worry too much about it, because to get started, all you really need to do is start recording clips. Now I'll have this video playing in the background again without any sound, and I'm going to kind of point out what's happening here. I'm talking to you about the length of each clip. Pay attention to what you're seeing on the screen. You essentially see a clip and then a scene change, a clip, a change, a clip, a change. And look at how short these clips actually are. Guy on a mountain, it's over. Text, it's over. Meadows, it's over. Building, it's over. Over, over, over. Really fast clips. One clip, another clip, another clip, another clip, another clip, another clip. You see what's happening? The pace is building, right? So essentially what you do is you start by compiling a bunch of clips. You don't record your trailer, you record 10 or 20 2 to 3 second moments that mean something in your experience. And once you've got a nice collection of these clips, then you can start actually putting them together into a trailer. Make sense? So that brings us to our next point, the music. I'm going to show you another scene from the trailer, except this time the audio will be playing. I want you to pay attention to the music and the scene change when it goes from one clip to another. Okay? Did you notice how the scene change tends to happen on the beat? When there's a loud sound in the video, it also corresponds to a scene change. And that's the basics of making a trailer video. You make a pile of little clips, you find some Valheim music, and then you tie all those clips together, combined with some text, to the beat of the music. Because remember, the idea isn't to show them everything that you've done, it's to show them something that makes them want to join. And the next tip I'm going to give you is something that Dakar pointed out, and that's that you don't have to be very accurate with the trailer. So you can kind of exaggerate a little bit. And it's totally fine as long as it makes the video interesting to watch. You may have noticed a couple of these moments. Here's a great example of one. This is Yagluth getting summoned. It's the moment he rises up. But where is he? He's in the swamp. Yagluth is the boss of the plains. And then after that clip, we get this shot of a bunch of drakes, way more than you would normally see. So they added more monsters to make the scene look more interesting. And then we go back to Bone Mass. Now, if you think about it, this is really confusing. It's literally the opposite order, right? It went Yagluth, Mountain, and then Bone Mass. But that's my entire point. It doesn't matter, because the whole point of a trailer is to entice people to join. If things aren't perfect, or if they're a little rough around the edges, it's not going to matter that much. Now that you know the basics of making your trailer, let's review the requirements to participate in Hype Week. You're going to study the Valheim trailer itself, then you're going to set up a Discord if you don't have one yet. You're going to make a trailer for your own project that's 90 seconds or less and name it a certain way, then upload it to the Dropbox link in the top of this video description by March 8th. Personally, I'm absolutely excited to see what you all submit. I have a feeling these videos are going to be really useful for everyone's projects and are going to help not just Val-Con, but also each of you to find more players for your wonderful creations. With that, I'm going to end the video by showing you the early access launch date trailer from Coffee Stain Studios. This trailer is available on Coffee Stain's YouTube channel.
This Val-Con video is powered by GTX Server Hosting, the best way to run your Valheim server.
Now come along and join us at Val-Con.
Okay, we are
Wait.
back. So first I have some questions for you all, and then I'll give you a chance to answer or ask some questions about what's going on. How do you feel when you see those Valheim trailers? Or I guess I should pick someone. Does anyone want to answer? Left out?
Pumped.
Yeah. No, you get the extraction and you just get hopefully not say yes, this is what I want to play, and it's your imagination who triggers to say, yes, I want to fight and I can survive better. I don't die.
Yeah, especially that second trailer. It's interesting how the attitudes of each trailer, from my perspective, is quite different. On the first hand, you have the first one, which is kind of like more calm and a bit more peaceful. And then you have the second trailer that's like playing metal music, showing you dying over and over again, like death, 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 you know? And like, it's funny because that's my style, but I didn't like the second one the first couple times I saw it. It was too jarring for me. But now, every time I watch it, I feel hyped and I want to watch it again, and I love it.
I think
Yeah, they're both pretty good.
obviously both trailers are quite different, but like they both give an equally sort of valid impression of Valheim. I think they're obviously going to appeal to different types of players. The first one has a lot more sort of sense of intrigue and mystery. Like there's several scenes of people like doing the stealth crouch walk type thing, and loads of mist and moody shots and whatever. And the second one is almost entirely combat. But yeah, both fun.
Yeah, but the crazy part of the second one is in terms of combat. I think this is not the most powerful piece of Valheim, but the most attractive one.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I think
Yeah, it's
probably
sort of like
a
come for
greater
the
portion of
combat,
the-
stay for the building.
Yeah, at the end, this is
Yeah.
it. No, I think if you come for the combat, you may be disappointed,
Yeah.
but I think the simplicity of coming here and see that fighting isn't that complicated and building isn't that complicated, but then you see, this is at least for me, which give me this Valheim great feeling is, let's say you only have 60 pieces, but you still build huge buildings, and if after 5 years you have your Star Wars, you have Elf, what is you have huge buildings just with these 60 pieces, yeah. So the picturing of these people to have for the details, it's incredible.
So, Dakar, you mentioned differences in the first and the second trailer. Could you elaborate more about that? Because I think probably what we can do to help everyone with their own trailers is kind of analyze these two trailers and kind of break down what's going on. And then we can kind of show some more stuff after that.
Yeah, sure. What sort of thing specifically did you mean?
Well, right now I'm playing with no sound on a loop the second trailer. So the one that is more like metal, more intense pacing. So from probably you could just talk about anything that you noticed that is different or noticeably different for you between the first and the second trailer. And that
Okay,
would
sure.
be good for people.
I mean, I think one important thing is that you can clearly see there's not only one way to present your project. Here's like two vastly different ways to present the same project, and potentially give it a completely different feel. One thing I noticed when I saw that second trailer for the first time is it almost feels like less professional, I would say, than the first one. Like it's not really a trailer you would maybe expect from like a big game studio. It feels more like an indie game trailer. But I would actually argue like there's more complex editing in it. There's like some masking and different things. Whereas the first trailer, it's got some like fancy title stuff, but it's mostly just like cuts and fades, and really nice timing with the music. Great selection of shots and that things. The editing in the first trailer isn't sort of super flashy or out of reach at all.
The music's not
and yet
heavy
it-
death metal. Well, I guess this isn't
Yeah,
heavy death
yeah.
metal, but the music's quite, at least for me personally, like I said, when I watched the second trailer, I'd never seen it before because I didn't know about Valheim before it was early access, right? But that second trailer is that came out to tell people it is going to be in early access. So it matches what you described. That's when they are still less well known, if that makes sense. Whereas the trailer that is more polished is the one that launched on the early access day. That was like, okay, Valheim's a thing. You can get it now, early access. Whereas like this one, it's wish list it now, So just
Okay.
so people are clear on the order of them.
It'd be interesting to find out who made the trailers, if two different companies made them and that kind of thing. Might tell a story as well.
Yeah, that would be interesting. All I know is, so the ones I show, Coffee Stain Studios has like the trailers on their website, but then there's also trailers on IGN's website. So it looks like there's like 2 or 3 places that have like a trailer with millions of views or hundreds of thousands of views or whatever. But the early access date, it's interesting looking at the demographic information, right? Because the early access trailer on Coffee Stain Studios account has 500,000 views from 5 years ago. Whereas if you look at the actual launch trailer, let me find it 1 second. Early access launch. Sorry, I'm not sharing my screen to you on Discord. I've been showing it on this stream. I apologize. But if you look at the Valheim early access launch trailer they have, it has 17 million views. So it's quite a distinction. Like you're talking about 34-fold difference in viewership, right? So I would assume that's why a lot of us, well, I didn't see the first one. I didn't know about it, right? I knew about the second one. But I mean, that makes sense if you look at the views, right?
Yeah.
And so what about the rest of you? Does anyone want to make a comment about the trailers or any kind of observation? Or Dakar, do you have something?
I was just going to quickly say the first one also does a really nice job of like background sound effects. Like most of the audio from the game is completely stripped out. But then if you pay attention, you'll notice certain things have sound effects, like the lightning strikes or the
brand
fishing
heavy
rod.
hitters.
Yeah, or like when he's striking the forge with the hammer, just like little things to subtly emphasize what the viewer should be looking at or paying attention to.
Yeah, I
I have a
definitely.
suggestion.
Yeah, go on.
I was going to say, in that link for the training video where it shows the requirements and things, you can have a video up to, what is it, like 10 minutes? Like if it's more of a narrative video. I was going to say, it may not be a good idea to pick just one of those videos, like the pace and the energy and stuff. If it's a longer video, you want to have a kind of a curve to it. Like you either start high energy,
Yeah, that's a good point. So this training is specifically geared towards Hype Week trailers, which have to be 90 seconds or less. But if you're not, that's just for Hype Week. That doesn't mean that anyone who's making a trailer, has to make a short one. So when you're talking about the 10-minute one, I'm not sure I follow exactly what the context is.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and actually find where I found it. Sorry, this link is awkward.
No worries. Tell me when you send it, because I have to look at the window in Chrome for it to show. Otherwise, it deactivates it. and I'm showing that on a loop in this stream right now.
Okay. Video content formats and requirements. Yeah, so you said like for the trailer, it's a little bit different. But if you're doing any of these up to 10-minute videos, I just thought it would be important to mention that you don't want the same energy throughout the entire thing.
Okay, no, sorry. Let me just clarify so the people who are listening understand. So basically, what Odo is pointing out is that for Val-Con, you can submit other kinds of content. What we just showed you is just the Hype Week requirements. That's just one part. The bigger part of Val-Con is submitting pre-recorded content that then we show in the actual live stream all together and watch it together, right? So what Odo's pointing out is that when you're making that kind of content, especially if you're making like a 10-minute video, you have to think about it differently. So don't take what we're talking about here is specifically for like a short, fast-paced trailer teaser thing. That doesn't mean that like you should do that for all your Val-Con content. And then with that, Odo, feel free to go on, explain what you're gonna say.
I mean, even for the 90-second video, feel free to like change up the pace and the energy. That's what I'm doing with mine. I'm gonna have it kind of cut back and forth between high energy battles and combat, and then like some of the more like calming stuff, chilling by a fire, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I definitely made mine to because I'm not showing the trailer. I showed it before, but basically I made a trailer and it's like the Colm part. Imagine you like cut Colm's throat and threw it out the window. That's the chaos level of that trailer. So I kind of need to chill that down and apply what you just said.
Yeah. But the juxtaposition works well, and so like the more energy and the more calm, the better it is.
There's a new game sort of coming out. I think there's a demo at the moment called Windrose. It's kind of like Valheim but pirates. And in the trailer for that, there's like, you know, all the swashbuckling going on and ship combat and swinging over and all this fighting. And then it cuts to like back at the base, it planting herbs in the garden, just like really peacefully. And then back to the combat, and it's really funny.
Nice.
Like completely switch
Here, I
up,
can-
completely switch
I
up.
can
Does a
find
great
that
job
one
of
second.
showing the scope of the game, hey?
Yeah.
So you said that's the Windrose trailer?
Yeah.
So I don't know about the music, so I'll just play it for the visuals in the background, okay? So I'll screen share so you guys can see it. One second. It's gonna be muted though, but I think is it a short trailer? It's like 46 seconds.
Yeah, I
Does that
think
sound
so.
right, Takar? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
I think I got the right one then. One second. Okay, I'm showing this, but I also need to share it with you all. Share my screen. And I'm sharing
Okay.
this. Okay. So now you see Pirate on the Beach. Hopefully this is the one Dakar is talking about. But do you want to just, because I distracted everyone by changing this, do you want to re-say what you just said so they have context?
Me, sorry.
Yeah, basically, because you referenced something that in theory is in this video I'm showing now.
Oh, I was saying there's a moment where it sort of cuts from high action swashbuckling to back at the base planting flowers in the garden, and it was a sort of good example of what Odo was saying of switching up the pace.
Yeah, so I'm playing it now. I haven't seen this before, so I'm watching it.
But
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
it's
I
the
see
same
what you're
kind of
saying because
things,
it
you know.
yeah, it has a cadence between combat and crafting or a view, and then a view,
Yeah,
and then some intense sailing or combat, and then like some trees, and then you're crafting. So does that mean that? I'm trying to see if we would all agree then.
the
that,
moment wasn't in that video.
No, so it's a different
It
trailer.
wasn't that one, I guess. It must be a
Ah,
different one.
dang.
But yeah, it's more or less.
So
So-
let's see then. Do you all agree then that it's better to have a back and forth with the pacing than be too calm or too hectic? Or do you think that there's a place to be too hectic and too calm? Does anyone want to take that?
I think
Yeah, I'd say it might just be based on the server, really.
also I think what you said earlier about the music, like so pretty much like a song, it should build up and then end. So
Yeah.
I guess like treat your video like a song, pretty much.
Yeah, build on Odo's
Yeah.
point, because
A build up and then
we're on a builder server, so we have some combat, but not super over the top. So I feel like think about my video, it would be calmer comparable to the ones shown so far. So I was like, all right, I guess mine's gonna have some sort of tempo to it. So that's not going to be intense per se. So it's all, I guess it's world based. If your world is, combat orientated, or you have a decent amount of raids with other players involved. I was thinking of yours, Dakar, the one you were briefly showing at the beginning. That build with the Draugr down there, I'm like, that seems like it would be a very combat and grand structure balance. So to have music to match that.
Do you
Oh,
want
I
to
have a question,
music.
which is kind of related.
go on?
I was going to ask, so we have 90 seconds, and are we wanting to keep the last like 10, 20 seconds for like putting stuff on the screen about like the IP, where to connect, and that kind of stuff? Mod
No,
requirements.
that's a good point though. I haven't explained to you guys how that's going to work. So, we're not going to share your login information. We're going to share your Discord channel's invite link so that you retain the control over whether you want to approve of the server. I don't expect anybody to just like do what I do and just have a server randos can just log into. Like, I don't think that's a good idea. Like in this situation I run, it's made for that. It's intended for that, and it turns that into entertainment and content basically. But for most people it's just a pain when someone griefs something. Like it's frustrating. So like that's why it's going to be better for everyone really if we just share your Discord information. Then you are free to, like, if you don't like the vibe of the person, you don't want to give him the information, like, it's more in your court, that's the idea. So the 90-second limit itself for the Hype Week trailers, and again, this is just for the Hype Week trailers, is specifically for the duration of the video. You don't have to worry about any kind of like putting in the login information or anything like that. And I encourage you not to, because like, well, yeah, we're going to use this for Hype Week. Also, we're trying to get you to make something that's independently useful for you to advertise your own Valheim experience, because from our perspective, you all doing more with your Valheim projects creates more interest in custom Valheim experiences and Valheim communities and everything. So the more we benefit each other and the more we assist each other, then the more players will all have then people don't have to be concerned or sad when they do something and they don't get to feel what it's like to have people playing on your thing and asking questions and breaking it. It's like, it's a wonderful thing that like I just want to help people find more players for their projects, but also show the players that this kind of stuff is possible, because they don't believe it. Like they literally, like they don't know. So, Nun, do you want to continue? You were going to make a point earlier.
About I don't know if I should be telling too many people about that. To be honest, I don't want to give Fire too much work.
Oh
I'm
no, not
surprised
that. Sorry, I
surprised.
meant just earlier in the conversation, when the others were talking, you were going to say something, and then I asked Odo to speak,
about
and so now I'm saying that you can.
trailers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What about I said one thing about the music, being paired, with the time, and therefore really you should just treat your video like a piece of music. Like, it starts off slow, it builds up, and then it ends with a finisher. And you only got what, 90 seconds, so you said, so it's like you can't really fluctuate between moods. You don't even have room for that. I don't think it's a good idea. So that's my opinion on that.
No,
And also,
that's a really
and also,
interesting point though, because we were talking almost entirely from the video visual perspective, but from an audio perspective,
but you mentioned music because pros will say that you build videos off your song. The song is the first thing you pick, right? Because then you know where the hits are, where the drop is, and then that's where you can go. Let this scene can
Yeah.
go here. So actually, a lot of pros will actually tell you this, and I learned that over the years. And my struggles making videos because as a kind of like a ADHD haver and creator, I don't like making videos. I like it. I like anything creative, but video making to me is just like so super tedious. Like so many things you can do. There's this you can change. It's like takes hours and days, months even. And then the last thing that I said was that you can't go wrong with you cannot go wrong picking an epic song for your video.
I think that's a
Can't go
really
wrong.
interesting angle. So like basically before the way I was explaining it was mixing together lessons for audio and visual is the same thing. But I see where you're coming from, because like really what I've noticed in the trailers is there's this building feeling. And I've noticed, like, after I watch one of the Valheim trailers afterwards, I feel something. But if I get rid of the Valheim part and all of the visuals and I just look at the music, there's a build and a lead off that makes that feeling, right? So I see what you're basically suggesting, that instead of like starting with clips, you should start by identifying the song that will be used and then frame the rest of the stuff around the beats and specifically the build up
Which is
of
actually a
that
point you
song.
made, but I don't know if you were listening.
No, don't worry. The purpose of these live streams is so we can all get more skilled and educate one another. So if I say something that's confusing or wrong, just say how you feel. Like, I'm gonna try and understand what point you're trying to make and then summarize it for people. So don't worry. This is exactly like, this is what for me I love about this, because I often like think I understand something, and then when I explain it and someone's like, "Oh, this part," I'm like, "Oh shit, that's so true," and then it helps me better just like learn, really, because I've noticed that it's often easy to feel like one knows something, but really when you're really into something, you're not feeling like you know it, you're continuously adding and improving, you know what I mean? So it's very different vibe, and that's what I hope to
You guys
help
know
people
about
with in these.
you guys know more about that stuff than I do. That's what I mentioned at the start. So, because you guys are like YouTubers and make videos already, like when 9 Bytes video came out about Dakar's World or whatever, Asmon Gold reviewed, and you guys had all those special effects where like you highlighted the build and
Yeah,
like
I
took it
mean,
apart
you're talking about
and it
Dakar
built
and
up
Nine
like,
Bytes video
yeah,
editing,
but
and they're both like
how do you
next level
that,
video editors, just for reference. Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's like pro level, next level. That's like a skill that you learn over like years and years of messing with toggles and things and transitions and being just like kind of like a social a content creator. That makes sense. Like a social media on internet type making videos for YouTube, obviously.
Hmm.
But I don't do that, so yeah, I'm sorry.
Honestly, though, you're not wrong. Like, I think picking out the song first is like such a good way to do it.
Yeah.
There's been videos I've made where like I've known the song way before I even started doing the build, because I've heard this song and been like, that would be so good for a video. But just like, I don't
Yeah.
know when I'm going to use it or for what.
Yeah.
But
You just
yeah.
save it
Hmm.
in your little library.
Yep.
And make sure, obviously, if anyone's listening, to make it no copyright. No copyright sounds. Has a lot
Yeah.
of good songs and stuff. You don't want to copyright.
and I
There's a
guess
lot
I
of great
can
songs.
share a little bit about that relevant to the people for Hype Week. So as far as the music goes, you can use anything in the official Valheim soundtrack and at the moment, it doesn't get struck. So you can use it on YouTube. Just know that in doing that, if something changes in the future and Iron Gate then changes their policy towards their music usage, they have the ability to then claim monetization on videos who have used it. So just know that, like, now it's totally fine. There's no consequences for it. YouTube doesn't even mark it. Like, it doesn't even register it as something that could be copywritten. But that's just because Iron Gate doesn't enforce the copyright that they have on YouTube. They're nice like that, right? So you can, in general, use any music from the actual soundtrack, but be careful, because if you use music from, like, a trailer, it might not be in the actual soundtrack, so that might not be the same, and you might get dinged for that. So as Nun says, you have to ensure that you use music that is from that's not copyrighted. And the easiest way to test that is to just, like, make some kind of random video with it and upload it to YouTube, and then just wait a day and see. You don't have to actually publish it. You can just upload it, and YouTube will, like, scan the video for things that its automatic system can see that are copywritten. And if you have copywritten music, that it'll show up. Like, it's very frustratingly good. Like, if there's, like, 4 seconds of something in the background, it will notice, and, like, they claim your whole video if they want to. It's like, god damn. It can be frustrating sometimes. So you have to make sure, because just because someone says it's not copywritten doesn't mean, like, oh yeah, we say that, but you have to then get the strike and then send the ID to us, and then, you know. So you in general, it's best to upload it first as an unlisted video, see what actually happens, because you kind of have to verify that it actually is no copyright. So that's the easiest way to do it. Just upload it as unlisted, and then you'll know for sure if YouTube detects anything or not.
Yeah. I have a technical question.
Yeah, go to town.
So, for video editing apps and whatnot, I usually only use Clipchamp. It's free. It's relatively easy to handle. But I was seeing if there's any recommendations for other forms of making videos that have better transitions, better cuts, and editing skills. Because it feels very tedious sometimes doing the editing, because the current app I use does not have the features to make it easier.
So are you asking for, like, what kind of program people recommend for editing?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question.
So I personally, like, 6 years ago, purchased a lifetime subscription for Wondershare Filmora, but then they proceeded to get rid of lifetime subscriptions and then cancel mine, and I was like, what the hell is a lifetime subscription? And then they gave me a lifetime subscription. So I have one, but I don't really feel very good about recommending it, because they clearly are just, like, marketing fools. So, like, I love that I can just do things because I paid $80 once and I can export videos, but I don't know if, like, Filmora is necessarily a good recommendation.
I have
I
a
haven't-
recommendation.
Go ahead.
Putting price stuff aside, if it makes sense if you're not going to be doing much video editing to want to find the video editing software that's, like, the simplest or cheapest or whatever. But, like, the amount of time that you learn that, and then a year down the road you might decide that you want to do more editing, and so then you actually pick up Premiere Pro and start the slog of trying to learn that. I recommend just going for Premiere Pro. Just put in you can probably learn how to make a basic video in about 8 hours with Premiere Pro. And then when you eventually want to do more or need to do more, you'll know how to do it.
Yeah, 'cause I think I made at least, like, 4 videos so far with Clipchamp, and the first one was brutal. By the fourth one,
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, now I'm getting the gist of
Yeah.
features it has.
It's almost a rite of passage to start that way, though.
4 minutes video editor. Don't make fun of Clipchamp.
I started on
with
Windows Movie
Fraps.
Maker.
Yeah, I would like to try to smooth out the video because even like the instances and the lag sometimes kick in at the wrong moment. I'm like, God,
Yeah.
no, why? Everything else is good
Yeah.
till the 3-minute mark, and then it starts getting there.
When you film, it eats up, your CPU a little bit more. So
Yeah.
as soon as you hit record,
If you're lucky enough to be recording on like a local world, dropping the time scale down to like half and then recording it, you can always speed it back up to full. But at least that way you won't get as much lag and
Yeah.
stuff.
So I was even thinking of taking a copy to this server, put it into my own like local server so I can
Oh
post it to, and wonder if that will cut back on lag in certain build spots.
for sure.
It'll help.
So
Yeah.
yeah, because I was like, I know when you have it like dedicated, you'll have go to a hub where the instances cause everybody to lag, and trying to make a video there just it's more of a headache. But it's just like, all right, gotta think of a ways around it in the future, especially.
One thing you can do with that as well is because the world doesn't matter, you can like delete everything inside the building if you're only showing the exterior, or like
Oh.
all the trees and everything that's behind the camera, like clear up thousands of instances.
Yeah, because I know you can like lower the vegetation so none of the grass is showing. That may help. You
Car
could
has
probably take
somehow
out all the,
managed to capture video of a 130,000 instance thing that spans more than the loaded zone. So he must know a few tricks.
yeah. This I seen a couple of his builds, and I scratch my head. I'm like, oh my lag. The still photos do wonders, but I couldn't imagine walking in there.
Yeah, most of them
Yeah,
not ideal
sounds like
for
Relic's
live gameplay.
builds.
Yeah, so Premiere Pro I took a note of. I'll probably explore that option in the future, but Clipchamp is free at the moment. That's why I've stuck with that for the time being.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
free options.
placed my recommendation. I placed in the stage chat. So the editing software I've used 10 years ago, it still exists and still have the advantage that you have full version if you do not pay. Also, you have all full functionality, but you only can have up to 3 projects running. So that's their limitation for working for free.
No, but it doesn't. Does it like put a watermark or anything? So I mean, if it doesn't do a
No.
watermark, that's pretty solid. I mean, I could work one project at a time, just delete everything else, like. I see. So Left have put that link in this chat. I'm gonna put it in the Hype Week host chat. One second.
I've only ever used Premiere, so I can only personally speak to that. I've heard very good things about DaVinci Resolve, and it's free and not too dissimilar from Premiere and Final Cut. So if you just wanted to like dip your toe in, that might be a good place to look at. And yeah, I would have said like, Premiere is kind of harder to learn and whatever, but more recently they added some new features that make doing complicated transitions like really easy, drag and drop, and they even have like a randomize feature where you can just like it just fully tweaks all the settings and shows you what's possible kind of thing. Yeah, so
Sounds
really
like zooping.
easy to get into. Yeah, it's just like one of those things that's like, oh, this used to be so hard to do, and like even doing the basic version of it, it's taking you 20 clicks, and now it's just drag and drop.
I was going to say another benefit of using some of the bigger programs is that you're learning as well soft skills that transfer to other types of software.
100%.
Like with Premiere Pro, you have to create a project. You have to like decide where the folder is going to be. You have to organize your assets. You have to do all that kind of stuff, and that's important skills for other stuff. Yeah. So many things.
I guess it depends on what you're trying to get into, right? Because you have the web-based video editors. So like for my day job, I basically mass produce courses for people, and I have to use the tool that they use basically. And so there's a lot of them, and that's like more of a, it like will have like good access to stock footage, but then it's different than using like an in-app video editor, if that makes sense. So So for some people, if you're just trying to like get in and produce something and you're not trying to get into like, okay, if you're interested in cinematography, you should get the fancier stuff and view it as more of an investment in your skill set. But if you just need to get in the habit of publishing the video and you don't really care and you just need something simple that works for you, then you might want to use something, you know, it depends on your context and your individual situation.
Web-based stuff is getting better and better.
Mm-hmm.
I can open 300 tabs of this web-based browser, so in some ways it is a lot faster than using a traditional powerful one, because I can, like, even if it's laggy and it loads for a while, if I have to make like 50 videos and they all have the same steps, I just like pull up a template, do the adjusting, alt tab, next, do the same thing 50 times. So it can be really efficient if you're like mass producing things, but aside from that, I mean, that's not really that relevant to if you're trying to make content for Valheim. It's more about like getting started, getting into the habit of producing the videos, because habit is everything. If you're in habit of production, then getting a better tool is probably worth the investment. But if you think that like the better tool is going to give you the habit of production, it usually doesn't work that way, right? But a lot of people tell themselves it does. So, Dakar, do you want to show the trailer you've been working on? I feel like you said you were going to show something, but I don't remember exactly what it is.
Did I? I promised nothing.
Oh, well, I recall maybe thinking you might show your trailer again. They haven't seen it, I don't think, did they?
Yeah, I can show it.
I feel like you changed
It's,
something since the last one. I don't remember, though.
I honestly don't remember. It's been a minute since I worked on it.
You also don't have to show it if you don't want to. I don't want to just force you to show off your awesome content.
Figure out where it is. There we go. Media player.
Something good.
There we go.
Let's see, in the meantime, Gatov has a question. He says, I'm trying to
Does this
make
have
videos
sounds?
and use free fly. How do I set the flying speed of the camera when making a Oh, okay, I know how to answer this. 1 second. Sorry to interrupt you. 1 second. Oh no, that's non-stream.
Was the volume coming through there?
1 second. Let me switch to the correct stream. No, wait, I have to stop this one. Can you play it a bit, Dakar?
Sure.
Yes, I hear stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Already, or were you doing a question? I'm sorry.
I'm ready. You can go.
Okay, sure.
Is it Helldivers?
Oh, I knew it was worth it. Man, you had me thinking
That's
maybe that
fantastic.
it was the same, but you made it 3 times as long as last time. You did tons of work on it.
Yeah,
And
maybe.
again, how'd you get the
Groovy.
ship to fly?
That's
Like what?
it's my old Top Gun video trick. Like it's just
Like stop motion?
the
or-
whole it's the whole build on the hammer, like you have the blueprint,
Uh-huh.
and then you use the freeze function of Infinity Hammer,
Mhm.
Oh
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
you offset it off like way to the side. And then when you like do your
Oh,
mouse wheel, yeah,
okay.
you see it,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you can use the console to do commands like hammer rotate, X amount. So then I can go
That's
into the free
genius.
fly camera and set it off from there. Yeah. So unfortunately, it's not like real. It's on the hammer phantom sort of
I mean,
build, but
Hey, it looks real.
yeah,
pretty
It
for the
did.
purpose of a video, it looks real. But yeah, it's not something that can be reproduced in game
Yeah.
at the moment. Who knows if someone finds a way.
I mean, based on
That
that
could be
trail,
Fire's next job.
see, I was motivated to hop on Helldivers after this, just based on the trailer.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, Dakar has been known when people ask nicely to maybe, he may have a server that sometimes people tested on for him, and, who knows?
Yeah.
See, I haven't really branched with the mods. Never used Infinity Hammer. The closest I
Oh,
got was
Oh,
planned
That's like
build. I
Oh.
haven't.
That's like the mod.
I'm
I have
jealous.
not dabbled in mods in any regard. Not since Skyrim days, but just like I try to like gatekeep myself. Like, nope, I can't. I don't want to open that can because once that's open,
Nice.
that's just open so much
Yeah,
more.
it's a slippery slope.
It's just for testing, actually.
5 mods, 20 mods, 100 mods.
I think it's Place All, Eternal Flame. Those are the only 2 I keep, just for quality.
Yeah, Infinity Hammer is it's a whole thing. It's yeah, I mean I absolutely love it, but I have not played the game since Infinity Hammer, like actually played the game. So,
Not
Let
played
that be a
or played
warning.
regularly? You
I
just
mean,
play in a
like,
different way.
yeah. I mean, I was sort of done with the game at that point, but it was only up to the planes when that happened. But yeah, it's just once you have like that level of building available to you, it's like, well, I could go and explore the Mistlands, or
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think JP was mentioning earlier you haven't beaten a couple of the bosses just because you're so busy
Yeah.
doing other stuff.
I've not beaten the Queen, and
neither.
I've not beaten Fader in any like legitimate capacity.
I too have not beaten Fader. I have killed him many, 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 many times while developing, but I have never beaten Fader.
That makes. I'm on that boat as well. I'm waiting for the Deep North to be released before doing that boss. So that actually feels like a progression afterwards.
Is it Fader or is it Fodder?
Probably
That's
not
fodder.
how I pronounce it.
I think it's Fader.
Because I think it's supposed to be father and motor is supposed to be mother, right? So
Something like that, yeah.
I would imagine father, some kind of funny sounding thing that I don't pronounce right. I would say is probably the right way to say it. That's usually how it goes.
and Yagluth or Yagluth or
The
that one's
Goblin
hard.
King.
Yeah.
That just uses his dev commands code. Makes it easier. Goblin King.
Yeah, but not GD King, even though it sounds similar.
Yep.
Wiseman.
Yep.
I can do it. Wiseman.
God,
Miss Couch Potato had a comment here. She says,
Oh.
or they say, I guess I assumed MS is Miss, but don't make
Yep.
assumptions about usernames, as they say. They say you make really great things without Infinity Hammer, so I do respect that you don't use the mods. I haven't tried Infinity Hammer yet either. A part of me wants to be able to see what you can do with it. Seems like you got challenged.
I know. I love once I'm in a building zone. I think a few hours in, I just disappear because I'll try to find realistic buildings in the world, draw those down on a piece of paper, and try to follow it brick for brick, so it has some realistic function to it. But sounding the Infinity Hammer opens up the endless possibilities. Does make my creative itch go. However,
Yeah.
for
Don't
my own
forget getting-
sanity of real life practical time, like I'm afraid that might take up too much of my time.
If you ever see a building and you look at it, be like, "Oh, I wish I could build that in Valheim, but it just won't work." Bust out the Infinity Hammer. You'll know then it's time.
I mean, I don't
Yeah, you
mind
can
working
make
with
fighter
the 45
jets
degree
with it.
angles. Yeah.
If you see these creatures they have created just with the 1 meter poles, huh? Or Dakar, your tank you have built. Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, those
Were
are
you
awesome.
talking about the? Oh, I don't remember their username, but there's someone on Reddit who's been making like incredible statues. Is that what you were talking about?
I think this one he is, yeah. He in the last Val-Con he made some tree sculptures, and even in the water he made what was it?
Oh no, you mean mythic builds. Yeah, he makes some amazing builds.
Yeah.
That wasn't the one I was thinking of though. I'll see if I can find it and send it to JP.
Is the Laco ones? No.
I really don't remember. I think it was a female.
Some like Valheimians. I remember seeing posters. It looks like a giant, almost like the Statue of Rhodes style builds.
They weren't enormous, I would say. They weren't massive, but like incredibly smooth. Like the most smooth woodwork and stuff you've ever seen.
Actual buns.
That does maybe ring a bell.
There's like a Freya lock statue.
Yes, that sounds familiar.
Arby said Badman in the chat. I don't understand,
really
so I'm
honestly
assuming
don't
that's relevant.
I've definitely seen Arby comment on their stuff though, so I'm sure he's picking up what I'm putting down.
Yes, here I'll
just
look. Let's see.
absolutely jaw dropping stuff.
Google failed me.
Yeah, I'm trying to look on the Reddit and not having much luck.
The first result was something called Dull Woman's Club. I don't think it's the right thing. Ah, okay, so that's their username. I see. I probably just can't find it. I don't really look at Reddit, so I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, so the
Oh
actual
wait,
buns.
we got a stream here. Does one of you have it? I see.
I think I have
see some
Valheimians up.
streams.
Yeah. But she's only put something up 10 months ago, so it's relatively new. So
I remember seeing these. Yeah. I thought they were like Greek
Basically-
statues. I must have seen the Archer one, maybe.
Yes, this is the one.
Yeah, it is smooth.
Yeah.
The building pieces are extremely smooth.
Which is the most recent one? Sorry.
This one's the Raven Queen.
Yeah. Okay. I do remember seeing this one. Yeah. Insane. Like
Wait,
the billowing on the cape at the bottom.
Yeah, like right there.
That's the kind of thing that I would skip because it's like, that's not necessary. You know, I've done all this other work. Forget doing that. You know, just, yeah. Oh my God.
It's crazy. So,
Jeez.
so is that built? That's just Grouston and Gizmo, or like
Yeah. Yeah,
is there
yeah.
some scaling as well, or like how?
I don't think so. I don't think there's any scaling. Although maybe it is around.
That's crazy. I
No,
just assume if
I
I
don't
see
think it
really
is.
like curves in Valheim, I just assume they're doing some trick or scaling something basically. But I didn't see anything that would make me know that
No.
it's scaling. I just assume that.
Well, that's a good picture right there.
See the curve. Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean,
See all
even
those-
doing those like leg muscle shapes is so time consuming.
Oof. Yeah.
See, get the locks. I think it's Thatcher.
Yeah, I've seen,
That's
definitely
hilarious.
not as hard, but so cute.
I've seen
But
that.
still, like really smooth.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's crazy the kinds
So
of
they-
things people build.
Yeah, they don't look too
Yeah.
big either. That's. I would
Yeah.
honestly think it would.
They had to build the person to make it look small.
Person for
Little-
scale.
Little camera trick there. That's funny. I thought it was a real person at first, and I was like, wait a second. I've seen this somewhere.
This one doesn't even look. Yeah, this one looks pretty small too. Look at the turnips.
I gotta look at people's builds
Yeah.
more. I haven't been checking out Valheimians much recently. I've been too busy. That's just an
That's usually where.
excuse.
That's usually where I share all the builds.
The core of this build, actually, that I'm streaming right now, was built by the third most followed guy on that website, Malfigurome or something. He built.
Oh, yeah, I've seen a few of his
yeah,
stuff,
yeah. I
yeah.
saw some. I recognize the name.
The core of this build was built by him, and the rest is me. And then I'll show you something else he did, like actually won an award.
So what you're seeing now, this is part of Nun's project, the Legends Rift.
Yes. We got a great adventure map that's been in production since Valheim came out, pretty much. I beat Yagluth one time and then just went straight to work.
See, I like
Nice.
the color coding on the maps. I'm assuming those mean different areas people have, right?
Oh yeah. Different
Yeah, I
factories.
do like-
There's
yeah,
custom
Territories,
factions.
right?
Right.
Yeah, I
It's
do
all
like that.
landlocked. So we expect obviously a lot of public people coming in here. So it's all landlocked. There's a sandbox
Hmm.
around this whole map. It's just a big tall seawall. So as long as you're in my landlock, it's safe. Like I don't have to worry about anything. But there's
Gotcha.
ways. I got testers that test all my scenes, and they try to jump out, and they try to break it, and they try to cheese. And anyway, this is just the castle part of that build. We had to remove the walls and the guardhouse and all the towers because originally it was like 40k in instances, but this is a 20k build, and won an award. And
I like
Malfi
the
Groom's
I like
building
the
style.
curved elements that like curve into the
Curvilinear.
ground. Looks cool. Yeah, those parts. I love it.
Right. So now he's super excited when I told him our new news about Fire's offer, so he can. Obviously these builds are a lot of the times just for show, just for pictures. You don't play in them. You don't play in a 40k build. You're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if you can reduce the impact
yeah.
even by just
Yeah.
like 40%, that makes a big
Right.
difference.
But he never chilled. Like, look at this. Like he has no chill. Like he loves this block. This one, the 1x1. He
The
loves it.
smallest one, yeah.
Smallest. And I
It
keep
is the
trying to
most
tell-
versatile one.
I keep trying to tell him, like, dude, you gotta use bigger blocks, broad strokes first. But now I reported to him that he doesn't have to do that. I was like, go crazy, dude. Just go crazy. I told him. You don't have to do that anymore. And he's happy. But he doesn't really build for the server. This was an imported build. He had some trouble on his server, I guess. And he's like, man, I really need to drop off this one castle. It's really important. And I just decided to throw it in your world. And I was like, go ahead, throw it down. And we moved it a few times, but this is where it ended up, next to the royal city, which has another castle inside. But we're hoping to take all that up and turn it into one. And then we'll alleviate some lag, hopefully.
Yeah, so I'll just mention how that process works so people know it exists. No, I won't ask you to explain it, don't worry. But
I don't know
basically,
anything.
so what Nun's explaining is that when you make like an adventure map and you have lots of really, really big builds, you encounter the problematic reality of what like 30, 40, 50,000 instances does to a player, you know, or two players, God forbid. And so it becomes problematic. Valheim sort of gets in its own way because on one hand, it is such a beautiful world creation machine that crushes itself under its own weight. So like it kind of like hypes you up to get all excited, and then you do it, and it's like, why'd you do that? You know what I mean? But so there's things that you can do, particularly if you're already offering a mod pack. So what I'm about to explain is only possible if you offer a mod pack for your players. So that means that they're already downloading a client side mod. This means for people like me or someone who wants to stay vanilla compatible, what I'm about to explain isn't an option. But basically what you can do is you can take a build, let's say it's like 30,000 pieces, right? These pieces all have different fields. They've all got a bunch of data in them. They have, you know, snap points, colliders, all these things, right? So because you're already making a mod, you can pretty much just turn that really, really high performance cost piece that's tens of thousands of pieces with loads of data in each into a couple thousand pieces that has all the extra data gutted. And you do that through Unity. So you basically convert the thing you built in Valheim into a prefab for Valheim. So if you have a huge build, it's not like it's just the same as placing one tree, but you are able to significantly reduce the performance impact, particularly in multiplayer, because you can reduce a lot of the stuff that has to be networked to everybody. If you think about it, if you have like 20,000 pieces, they all have health. That all has to be sent to every single player who's there so that their client shows the right amount of health for the piece. So the reason Valheim gets so problematic is because its networking pipeline can't handle the sheer amount of data that gets pushed through it. So if you're able to reduce all of the redundant data, you can get significant performance gains. And you'll find that on the modded experiences where you see like a vast scene that looks really big but runs smoothly, it's because they're using this technique. So as far as I know, it's not like a mod. There's not a mod right now. I mean, hopefully someone can prove me wrong. But at the moment, there's not a mod that does this process. You have to learn how to do the process inside Unity yourself, and then like use a rip of Valheim to get the shaders and these things and apply them right. So there's like a technical process to it that takes some time to learn. But once you learn it, you can do it to any build, and it's not like, you know, you have to do like a bunch of programming and coding. It's like work that you get the hang of, and you know, maybe it takes like a day or two the first couple times, but later on it's less time consuming. Definitely worth it considering the performance gains.
Yeah. Anything really, because Valheim just needs like all the love there it can get. Especially when you're playing with other players, and I got a lot of people from around the world that play here together, and most of them are having a good time, but some of them with lower PCs are kind of complaining, but it's what it is.
We have people that are on console, like Xbox still, so they're limited sometimes. So they kind of stick to their spots. They don't really get to explore much of the realm just because either it lags too much or they're just like, nope, can't handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the players I observe, Valheim's sort of like they have like a single player experience on a world other people play on, and occasionally they'll like overlap a little bit and adventure together. And then that's the like most common kind of player I see. But then you also have people who like will play in a pair, it'll be like a brother and a sister, or like a couple, or like an aunt and their daughter, uncle, niece, that kind of dynamic. Those are the most kind of common dynamics I see in the players, at least. All right, then. So now we have covered everything that I wanted to make sure we covered. So is there anything that anyone wants to ask, either about Valheim or modding, or about the requirements for Hype Week, such as the due date, what's expected of you? Now's your chance.
So I would say just question on the dedicated server world file. I know when you submit at first, you have to put a world file attached. Is it okay to submit a newer one before the deadline?
So let's see, because when they made the form, we don't actually really need the world file
Okay.
for Hype Week. It
Okay.
kind of depends, because if you already have a server and you're happy just sharing the Discord link and information, then you would just use that. If you want,
Okay, perfect.
basically I can provide a server that's temporary, but it would expire like a week after, or it would just be for like the week of Hype Week. In general, I
no,
prefer
it's
that people direct to an existing server, because the idea is
Yeah.
like the players will actually, some of them will stay and participate in the community after the event, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
But
Okay.
sorry, I didn't realize that the form asked for the world
It made you,
file.
yeah, it submitted one, and a couple players have already upgraded or added new things, and I was like, oh, I want that to reflect, but since you just
No,
mentioned
they were
link
probably
your
just trying
Discord,
to
that'll be better.
cover all their bases and make sure, because it's better to have it
Gotcha.
than not.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, don't worry about it. You'll be in, like I said, we don't control your server or make a copy of it. We direct people towards your Discord, and then you give them information to a server. And if you want, I can provide a temporary server, so you don't have to, like, some people have, like, they don't want to expose their current playership to strangers, so they want a more temporary situation. But like, so far nobody's wanted that, so that's just something we talked about. But
JP, the same question, but towards the trailer. You wrote in the form to drop it in Dropbox, but so still we have to put it into Dropbox, or if the link to the YouTube is sufficient.
so for the submission, we need the file in Dropbox. That's important.
Okay.
But let's say that, like, you haven't done that by the day, but you uploaded it to YouTube, like, you're not going to get disqualified because of that. But the reason, like, so hear me out. From a Val-Con perspective, we need the file so we can use it to market Hype Week and your server and bring players. That gives us the freedom to publish it on whatever and include it in the live stream, etc., etc. That being said, you should still, like, have it on YouTube and push it yourself for your own benefit and your own project's sake.
Yeah.
So I definitely encourage you to put it on YouTube. Can't hurt. It's really, really healthy to have a kind of visual gate to get into your project. I've just found, at least for me personally, like, when I first started getting Valheim players, I would just put PW is PW as the server name. That was the lowest quality players ever. Like, that's when you get griefed every Sunday like clockwork. You learn all the behaviors of the griefers. And, like, yeah, I learned all about that stuff. But then compare that to putting videos on YouTube, showing off, like, your personality, putting yourself out there and inviting people to play. People who come from that, they're really well behaved and often quite dedicated. So depending on how you invite people into the server, the kind of quality of the players changes. So what I'm suggesting is that when you have one of these hype kind of trailers for your project, you're going to get an increased quality of player. Because basically a quality player is somebody who expects what is there, not somebody who has some random ass expectation about something that has nothing to do with what you're doing, because they don't read and they didn't read past the third word in your, description or your title, and then, they're just downloading. Like, that's how people work. So you kind of have to understand that a lot of them don't, they have all of these wrong beliefs and misguided notions. So that's going to make them kind of be disrespectful to you and your project. So it's all about like managing the perception of that player when they first join, and definitely having some kind of video. It makes people take your project more seriously. They feel like, I don't know how to explain it. I've just observed it. They're less likely to cause problems, more likely to be concerned about consequences if they lose access to the thing you're doing, because it's more accessible. I don't know, something about also being on video, just it really adds a lot to the health of the experience. So sorry, Left, did I rant too much there? Did I cover your question?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, all good.
And hello, Hilly and Cherry and Rose. Welcome. So Rose in the chat said something, and let's see. Maybe this could be something. Maybe like Dakar, maybe you want to do a live stream with me about this at some point. But she asked, okay, custom field editing class in general, without the need of mods. So I think she means like field editing, because you have to use mods to do field editing, sort of. Because I think technically you can do like spawn. Actually, I don't know. How does that work? Do you have to have world edit commands to do that, Dakar? Do you remember?
Yeah, you
place it, yeah.
Commands.
Yeah, okay. So she's probably talking about vanilla, or let's say crossplay compatible. I've learned that's the phrase to use, because if you use vanilla, they get triggered. They don't give a shit about what you mean. If you say that word, they are pissed. So I've learned that no vanilla compatibility. Vanilla? What's vanilla? I don't know what vanilla is. No. Crossplay compatible.
Come on,
that's the term. But so they asked about that. Yeah, what do you think about that? I don't know much about field editing. Like that's a whole way of I always do it through scripts. So I'm like backwards, because I do it the long complicated way instead of just knowing how you can look at the object and write F equals and then magic.
Yeah, you'd pick it up super quickly though, because you know like components and fields and all of that sort of stuff. So it's very easy to translate.
Yeah, it's familiar.
So
I already know the field. I just need to learn the format of field edits.
Infinity Hammer.
We can work on setting that up.
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to, like, who's interested in that? So I'll invite you to the live stream. I'm trying to just work with people who express interest, so then it's more like I'm not dragging anyone along, But so here's what we'll do. We'll set up a live stream. This is like, it's not like part of Val-Con, so it's just something anyone can join if you want to learn, or you can watch. And we'll do a class about making these field edits. So probably we'll show using the tools, do that kind of thing. Because it sounds like that's something people want to learn more about. And from my perspective, I want to increase the chance of people making awesome stuff in Valheim. So that's in my best interest as well. Because if you guys learn cooler stuff, you make cooler stuff, and then I can make videos about it.
I'm down for that.
What's going on?
We're finding out who wants to join a class about field editing in Valheim. So this is specifically field editing is when you adjust existing data in the game objects, and the output is vanilla compatible. Oh, god damn it! I said it. It's crossplay compatible.
Sorry. So EWP stuff.
Yeah, so
it's
I'll
not
message
really
you
like
guys.
EWP. It's like the stuff 9x9 used in the adventure map to like modify how stuff works and make you like jump miles off of ladders and that kind of thing.
In the training session, we can also share some Infinity buttons that like do some of the field editing for you, just for people who may not know how to do it manually. Those
Yeah,
are
I mean,
great.
Yeah.
it sounds like I should message people and then you all can contribute to like Odo just said, thinks these things are useful, then anyone else can say what they think is useful. And then if I know that ahead of time, then I can kind of work that in and make sure you get a chance to show it in these things. So it sounds like, I mean, that would be awesome because if we can make more of this kind of content where we're like inspiring each other, because no offense, I love Iron Gate, but I don't think we can look to them for hype about Valheim. We have to kind of be there for each other and hype each other up. You know, that's just the reality. They take a really long time to do things. So in the meantime, we gotta figure things out for one another. So I personally would love if, like, even if it's just like once a month or something, if we can do some kind of thing together just from like a world building, skill set building perspective where we, you know, we focus on sharing our skills and helping each other out, make better experiences for everybody. Because this is for me really what I care about. Val-Con is something I love and I want to be involved in. But it's just one part of the year, right? Like there's a whole rest of the year where people exist and Valheim's still a thing, and there's still a whole world out there that has no idea what's possible with Valheim, you know? So we got work to do. All right, then. With that, I'll ask one more time. Is there anything before I end from any of you? Are any of you unclear about what's expected from you or the trailer or what to do?
I'll probably hit you up again exactly where to send it because
Yeah,
I
that's
know you
fine. Feel
shared
free
it.
to message me.
I bug you again about it. I mean, I'll upload it to YouTube and send the link. I mean, it seems like the obvious thing to do, but I guess you
Yeah,
guys got like a
basically,
drop
once
off.
you're done, just message me, and then I'll give you the links and show you what to do for the actual application part. You don't really have to worry about figuring it out. You can just ask me, and I'll tell you what to do. So that's fine.
And remember, the deadline is the first Friday of March.
Yeah, I
It's
got it.
not. It's actually like Sunday, but you know, shoot for the Friday because shit happens.
Yep, be punctual.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So with that, I will end this live stream. But it sounds like we will do another training live stream for people interested in field editing and this kind of thing in world creation in Valheim. It's a way to make things that people think are impossible, but are you see how ingrained it is? Crossplay compatible. I'm gonna remember. I'm trying to make friends with all these normal Valheim players. I can't be pissing them off just accidentally. Oh, gosh. But yeah, there's a whole way of editing things, and if you've ever played the adventure map, you've probably heard about it. It's Dakar 9 Bytes project. If you haven't, go on YouTube and search Valheim adventure map. You'll thank us. It's a really awesome thing. Great videos, a lot of awesome content about it. So definitely check that out. But they basically made a whole project, and it's compatible with vanilla clients, and that means that people can, like, you can make a world, put it on a server, and then people can join on crossplay. They could join on PlayStation when it comes out. They could join on, you know, any of the platforms that play Valheim. So this is like basically a whole untapped sort of, not fully untapped, but people, like, for the most part, don't really understand how customizable Valheim really is, because they treat it like a sandbox. No, they treat it like a survival game, not a sandbox game, right? So if you're willing to treat it like a sandbox, you know, there's a lot that you can do, right?
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching, everybody. That's it for the stream. See you in the next one.
Tried to save.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Wie het is